What's going on, guys? It's Smudger. Let's talk about this assault rifle, how to get it gold, the quickest ways to do it, and any potential challenges you might run into. There wasn't many from what I remember. I got this gold yesterday and I've only just got around to filming this intro for you. It's just a case of, I think I was spoiled with the CX9 in Modern Warfare and how easy that was to get gold. Somewhat forgot how much of a pain some of the Cold War challenges can be. But we'll run through the class setup pretty quickly. Obviously this does come with its own sight almost. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it and it is no good for long shots. So when you are doing long shots, just make sure you are, putting the 2x, 3x on there. Other than that, I kind of forced myself to get used to it just so I could have the extra attachment slot. I kept the ultralight on for the most part. I did play around with a few other attachments for this, but it hits so hard, especially in hardcore, that you don't really need to, and it can be so slow and clunky at times that it's worth kind of sacrificing some of that bullet power and accuracy for a little bit of speed, especially ADS time. I was running the foregrip for the longest time, thinking it made a massive difference, and it just did not. So I switched to the infiltrator grip before finally moving on to the speed grip when I unlocked it. 30 round mag went on pretty much as soon as I unlocked it because it does have quite a small mag size without, just from a ease perspective. As always, we were rocking the drop shot wrap until we unlocked the airborne elastic wrap so we could drop shot. It's one of my biggest bugbears in this game that you can't without an attachment. It just makes kind of snaking easier. It makes staying alive a little bit easier, especially in hardcore. And then finally the Raider stock. Before that we were on the marathon pad, just for some extra speed. Pretty much I set everything up to be as quick as possible, with the exception of long shots. I kind of did long shots in one hit, which isn't something I usually do, but this gun kind of required it. For most of my leveling up, if not all, most of my leveling up, I actually did it in the Echelon playlist for the new map that got released for Season 5. It was just a fun map to play. I didn't really notice I was, leveling up so much, which was nice. And then when I did need to do long shots, purely because Echelon was incredibly lobby dependent about whether or not you'd get people peeking those long angles, I switched over to nuke jacked just to quickly clear up on the last few long shots and headshots, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. And that's pretty much all there is. As always, making sure you're equipping the double XP tokens, just level it up as quickly as possible, because it does feel like it's taking longer than some of the other guns, but maybe that's just me, maybe I'm off my game a little bit. But let's jump into these camo challenges. So first up is 300 eliminations. As always, if you can't do this, I probably can't help you. It's 300 eliminations. Please figure out how to kill people before you come to this video. And then next up is the 100 headshots. I really struggled with headshots with this gun. Most of the other guns they've been releasing kind of have a recoil pattern that is very generous when it comes to headshots. The pattern lets the gun kick up a bit more, means you're hitting more headshots. For this one there definitely was more of a focus on it, in terms of making sure my aim was centered on the head as I rounded corners. Taking that extra time to shoot an enemy that wasn't paying attention in the head a bit more so than I usually would. And that's why I switched to Nuketown, or Nuke Jacked as it is at the moment. It's a bit more fast paced than Echelon is. I found that I was hitting more headshots at a closer range, and it just kind of sped up the process a little bit. But Echelon was a ton of fun and kind of like a nice breath of fresh air to level this gun up for the most part. And then we have 5 kills without dying 20 times, all of them coming from the EM2. This wasn't that bad. Echelon's a fantastic map for this because it is so wide open that you can get a couple of kills, dip to an entirely different part of the map. There's enough cover that you're not going to get picked off for the most part. The rotations are easy enough to make that you can pick up entire teams without them really knowing what's hit them, especially on hardcore. It's a really fun map to level up guns. It's something that I hope they keep in the game 24/7, but I don't think they will. This wasn't so bad. As always, this is all about playing your life. If you are struggling, picking your battles, making sure that they're winnable battles and you're not storming into a room where there's 5 people staring at the set of stairs you want to climb up. It's not so bad. As always, if you are struggling, make sure you are sitting back a little bit and picking your moments. It really wasn't too tricky. 50 long shots, not horrendously difficult, just a bit annoying to do on echelon, just because people either peeked those two kind of like upper windows and by like the dome repeatedly, and it was great, you'd pick up like 10 in a match, or they just wouldn't peek anything, they'd sit in kind of like the middle console bit, and it was easy just to be aggressive and up close in those games. That's why I switched over to Nuke Jack to get the headshots and long shots done pretty quickly. Obviously Nuke Town for long shots lesser than hijacks, are a bit trickier on there. Wrap them up in a few games, it really wasn't too bad. And then we have 75 enemies detected, stunned or blinded. This one you need to be on Nuke Jack for. I pretty much did it in tandem with the headshots and long shots without realising. I had about 10 kills left by the time I'd finished the long shots and switched back to echelon. I was really struggling on that. Make sure you got UAVs and harps in the air obviously, but if you rely on field mics to get a lot of your kills like you would do if you're in hijacked or Nuke Town, it's a bit tricky on echelon because it is a bigger map. So if you are struggling with this, make sure you are on Nuke Jacked. Make sure that you're placing those field mics as close to the enemy spawn as you can. Tucks out the weight of grenades, which is easier said than done. And then you've got to either fly at people, don't worry about your KD, or sit back and just let them walk into your field mic area. But UAVs and harps are the easiest way to do this. And then we have shoot and kill 50 enemies taking cover from you. Echelon's fantastic for this. Everyone seems to be trying to find their own head glitch, their own personalised head glitch. Yeah, this is the ideal map to do it on because there is so much space that you can work around, and it feels like there are so many little kind of head glitches and just cover in general that pretty much anyone you kill, unless they are obviously out in the open, will count towards this. Nuke Jack works really well for this as well because people love to hold their angles. You know, it's a pretty well known fact now. It's really not that tricky. It can just take a bit of time to register about whether or not it is behind cover or not. So that seemed a bit off with this gun. It didn't seem to really work how I expected it to, but regardless it wasn't too bad. And then finally we have kill 2 or more enemies rapidly 25 times in multiplayer. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. Get aggressive, getting people's spawns, you know. Hold those channels out the spawn, let them run to you. Echelon works, Nuke Jacked works, Face Off would work. I think I played one match in Face Off and then decided this gun was a little bit too slow, but if you are struggling that would be an option. As always, you've got to kind of be aggressive, you know, be in people's faces, make sure they know you're there. It really wasn't too difficult for this one. The gun, once it gets firing, hits pretty hard. It's just you're not going to have as quick an initial fire rate as someone using pretty much any other gun. It did feel awfully slow at times, but maybe I shouldn't have it kitted out for the speediest way in the world. I just kitted it out for something that felt comfortable to me. And with that being said, that is all of the camos for the EM2. It's not a bad gun, you know, it's usable, which is nice. I just don't know if I particularly would use it after I've got it gold. I say this about every gun because it kind of makes me want to never use it again, which is a shame. Maybe I should slow down on the whole gold camos things. Regardless, I'll probably have a video up about the Tech 9 tomorrow because that's gold. I'm just literally waiting to film it. God, I need to go outside for a bit, guys. As always, if you did enjoy the video, give it a like, subscribe if you want to find your way back. Hope you all have a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye.